Hey, friend, let me start by saying this clearly. If January already made you feel behind, you didn't fail. You just opted out of a system that was never designed to heal you. This month, we did something a little bit radical. We didn't chase resolutions. We didn't demand a new version of you by sheer willpower. Instead, we slowed down. We set intention, not pressure. Intention asks, who do you want to become? Pressure asks, what do I need to fix? And today, in this final episode for January, we are closing the loop with the fourth and final phase of the mindset medicine method, manifest. Not the sparkly Pinterest approved version of manifesting, not pasting affirmations over burnout and hoping that the universe doesn't notice, but the kind of manifesting that happens when your nervous system, your thoughts, and your emotions finally come into alignment. Stick around. Welcome to Mindset Medicine with Dr. Tanya Burfield, where science meets soul, burnout meets boundaries, and high achieving women finally stop performing and start healing. I am a resilience and transformation expert, nervous system strategist, and recovering overfunctioner just like you. This podcast is your sanctuary for breaking cycles, rewriting stories, and reclaiming your energy, your peace, and your power. Each week, we blend neuroscience, somatic practices, and spiritual truth to help you unlearn the noise and remember who you really are. You're not broken. You're breaking free. And this is your medicine. January culture loves a good reset fantasy. New year, new you. Fix it, optimize it, upgrade it. But what we know, what your body knows is this. You cannot force transformation from a discontent, disconnected, dysregulated space. That is why this month for us was not about fixing you. It was about unlearning what is not working, unlearning pressure, unlearning urgency, unlearning the belief that you have to earn your rest, your worth, or your peace. Instead, we use the mindset medicine method to a gentler, more true path. We are recognizing what patterns are actually running you, surrendering the grip, the control, the over efforting. We're rewiring the thoughts, the emotions, and the responses that are stored in the body. And now, with Manifest, what you really, truly want. Not what looks good on paper, not what keeps other people comfortable, but what feels aligned and calm and real. So I want to take you back to the very first episode of this month, the Yoga Nidra that we did. That episode was not an accident. It was a foundation, because before you can recreate something new, your body has to feel safe enough to receive it. Yoga Nidra is not about sleep. It's about a guided rest, a state where the brain quiets, the nervous system downshifts, and the subconscious becomes receptive. That episode was about clearing the noise, creating space, just letting your system exhale, because manifestation does not begin with action. It begins with regulation. So before we go any further, I want to talk about just the word manifestation. I need to define it because manifesting has been misunderstood, oversold, and honestly, a little abused. Maybe a lot abused. When I say manifesting, I'm not talking about wishing. I'm not talking about fantasizing. And I'm definitely not talking about making demands of the universe and then sitting on the couch and waiting for the universe to deliver those to you. This is not sparkly, performative version of manifesting. It's not vision boards made during an anxiety spiral and called alignment. When I talk about manifesting, I mean this. Manifesting is the process of becoming emotionally, neurologically, and energetically aligned with what you want to create. So your actions, your choices, and responses naturally move you in that direction. Manifesting is not passive. It's not magic. It requires participation. Here's the truth that most people don't want to hear. You do not manifest by wanting something badly enough. You manifest by becoming the version of yourself who lives in integrity and with that desire. That means your behavior has to change. Your boundaries have to change. Your self-trust has to change. And that's where effort and action come in. Not forced, frantic action, but aligned action. Manifestation is alignment first, action second. And magic happens in the overlap. And that overlap matters because manifesting isn't about sitting back and waiting. It's about doing the inner work so that your nervous system feels safe enough to move and then taking action without self-betrayal, burnout, or force. When alignment leads, actions become clearer, they become cleaner, they become more effective. You stop pushing, you start responding. And this is where neuroscience helps ground the woo. You probably already know I am a big fan of Joe Dispenza's work. From him, we know that the brain doesn't know the difference between a real experience and one that is vividly imagined and emotionally felt, right? But this is what I've been trying to say. That emotional rehearsal doesn't replace action, it informs it. Your body learns what feels safe, what feels possible, and what feels familiar. And then you act from that place. So when your nervous system is conditioned to stress and urgency and bracing for disappointment, even your best intentions will be filtered through that lens. That's why I say this. You don't manifest what you want. You manifest what your nervous system expects. Manifestation in the mindset medicine method is about changing the signal that you are sending internally so your choices finally match your internal truth. It's not about sitting back and waiting. It's about moving forward without self-betrayal. When your nervous system believes something is possible, you take different risks. You make different decisions. You stop tolerating what does not fit. And that, my friend, is when life starts responding differently. Not because the universe finally got the memo, but because you became congruent with what you were asking for. If we're focused on manifesting, we also have to talk about gratitude. But I want to be very clear about why it belongs here in this conversation. We've already said it. Manifestation doesn't start with action. It starts with state, your state, how safe, calm, resourced, or braced your body feels is what determines the actions that you take, the risks that you're willing to make, and the opportunities you're even able to see. When your nervous system is in survival mode, your actions come from urgency, control, or fear. Even well-intended action gets distorted. But when your nervous system is regulated, your actions change. They become clear, more aligned, more effective. And this is where gratitude comes in. Gratitude is one of the fastest ways to shift your internal state. From threat to safety, from lack to sufficiency. Not because everything is perfect, but because your body stops bracing long enough to respond instead of react. From a manifestation perspective, this matters. And it matters because you don't manifest through force. You manifest, again, through aligned action. And aligned action is only possible when your state supports it. Gratitude is the bridge between intention and embodiment. It helps your body feel safe enough to move towards what you want instead of protecting you from what you fear. So this isn't about being polite or positive. It's about changing the internal conditions that make new outcomes possible. Before we move into this practice, because you know we're going to do it together, I need you to remember this. Your state drives your actions. Your actions are what shape your results. So if you want to talk about manifesting, real manifestation, we have to work with the state your body is in before you take action. That's why we're using gratitude here, not because it's a mindset trick, not as a performance tactic of positivity, but as a way to gently shift your nervous system into a state where aligned action becomes possible. Before we move into this practice, remember this. Your state drives your actions. Do I need to say it for 100th time? Your state drives your actions. So if we want to talk about manifesting, real manifesting, we have to work with the body. Start again at that's why we're using gratitude here. That's why we're using gratitude here, not as a mindset trick, not as a performance of positivity, but as a way to gently shift your nervous system into a state where aligned action becomes possible. Before we move into this practice, because my friend, you know there's going to be a practice, we have to integrate this. Remember, your state drives your actions. You're going to hear me say this again and again and again. Your state drives your actions. So if we want to talk about real manifestation, we have to work with the state that your body is in before you take action. That's why we're using gratitude here, not that mindset trick, not that performance positivity, but as a way to gently shift your nervous system into a state where aligned action becomes possible. All right, let's do this together. If it feels okay, I want you to place one hand on your heart, let your shoulders soften, slow your breath, nothing fancy here. Just take a couple nice deep breaths. And I want you to bring your mind to a version of your life that feels just not flashy, not performative, but calm, steady, expansive. A place where you feel calm, maybe even confident, content, happy. Just think about that time. And I want you to ask yourself, who am I being here in this moment? What emotion lives in this version of me? Is it peace, confidence, relief, trust? When you find it, let that emotion spread, not by force, but by permission. Now, instead of waiting for proof, offer gratitude for the feeling itself. Not thank you for what I have, but thank you for how this feels in my body. This is how you become the match. You're not chasing the future. You're teaching your body its emotional language. Take one more big, slow breath. And just let that settle in. That, my friend, is what January was really about. Not resolutions, not discipline, not doing more. It's about becoming honest, and then softer, and then safer, and then aligned. You recognize what wasn't working. You surrendered the grip of control. You rewired your inner world. And now you manifest from embodiment, not effort. Manifestation isn't the reward at the end, it's the byproduct of alignment. When your nervous system believes it's possible, reality will follow. If this conversation stirred something in you, if it landed for you, if it helped you breathe just a little bit deeper or see yourself a little more clearly, this is the work I bring to rooms, teams, and organizations every day. I speak on burnout, performance pressure, emotional resilience, and what it actually takes to lead and live without losing yourself. If you are part of an organization, a conference, or a community that's ready for this kind of conversation, you can book me to speak. All of the details are linked for you. And and if you want to go deeper personally, my Radical Resilience book bundle is available when you are ready. It's the book, the workbook, the audio journey, all designed to help you move from pressure to peace using the same mindset method we've been exploring all month. You don't need more motivation. My friend, you do not need more motivation. You need the right environment to make the change you want. Everything is waiting for you in the show notes. Until next time, I love you.